which everybody talks over all the time. Everybody. Good evening, everybody. Matt Geary here for Geek Pride's Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign, The Legend of Our Sacrifice. With us tonight, we have Conrad as Arnold Jerkel.
Stop.
Returning, Michael as Tharval Eldon.
Hello.
We have Jace as Brother Gadden.
Howdy, my furry friends.
Lecky as Bartholomew Pringle.
Right.
And Mark as Lance.
I wish to protest. I am not furry.
Okay.
That's all.
At least not everywhere.
That's a lie.
So,
God is watching.
So we had some interesting stuff happening last week. We said goodbye.
Does Michael know that Galandra's dead and
Yeah,
Vala's
because
gone?
he was there.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
So
So,
was he? I can't remember.
yeah.
I was about to say that would be a great recap.
Tharaval basically left after Galandra died.
That was it.
Yeah,
I remember now.
Tharaval
Yeah.
left just after Galandra died for a bit. So, let's go from
He had feelings to deal with.
Yeah, so from that point, we've had let me so we've had a chat. We've had a bit of a demonic incursion from Galmarath, who is the demon who Valashul's father defeated and took his spear from. Galmarath's minions came to basically Balon to find the spear, and Val found him. There was a fight ensued, a fire occurred, and they defeated the demons, but on their dying breath, they basically said, if we're going to come and get you, Galmarath will destroy this world and bring destruction to Balon. And so Valashul has begrudgingly left for the Celestial Realm to deal with Galmarath. But he got a promotion, so he's a tribune now. So he is second in command of a legion. So he's sort of taken himself off. May or may not return. Who knows? After that, we had a bit of a discussion. Barty and Brother Gadden went off to the library to find out a bit more about the Somnian Enclave. We had what else happened? What else have I missed out? Had a bit of the discussion on what we should do with the bowl. And if we should go to, or if you should make your way to the Enclave or deal with Jor Ithrasta, where that Kiamet Red Scale is. Obviously, the bottom right-hand square on your screen now is where Jor Ithrasta is, and the Somnian Enclave, where the Dreamwalkers are, and where the bowl needs its magic. What's the word? Its ritual to cleanse it is there. The red square is an area called Garley Ford. Not Garley.
Garleyhold.
Garleyhold, yeah, sorry, Garleyhold. Garleyhold is a sort of port city that is near the Somnium Enclave, and the reason it's a target is because Mr. Pringle has some sort of knowledge of that area through his father, or maybe you went there as a child or something along those lines, and sort of so you want to so you don't teleport into the side of a mountain. You basically want to get there as soon as possible, because the bowl has a nasty habit of interfering with your dreams if you leave it too long. So the idea was to get there quickly, try and get to the Somnia Enclave, and have it cleansed ASAP, basically. And I think that's pretty much where we left it. Am I missing anything out? Have I missed anything out?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No?
Oh, and the dwarf chap with the thing that Arno spoke to, who
Yeah, the Dragon Slayer.
The Dragon
the
Slayer.
Dragon Slayer.
Who wants
I
his
was
sword back?
gonna tell Tharible when I see him.
Oh, okay, cool, great. In that case, yeah, but no spoilers.
Yeah, and obviously, yeah. So Valashil, Tharval will not know that. Tharval will not know that Valashil is has gone yet. He'll have taken himself off, but we will bring him in at some point, and then we'll make our way off. So we're going to start off where there's obviously all the activity in the RP chat over the week, guys. That was really good. That was well done. That was.
I would be worse if I had time. So, like Matt, I would have been like reply every second. But I had to. I was.
You at least embraced it, not your a 5 minute. Can I roll some dice? But yes.
In my defense, it's been a bit of a week.
Excuses are like assholes, magician. Everybody's got one, unless you don't have one, then you don't have an excuse. Anyway,
I'm really good with mine. I'm kidding. Whoa.
Okay, so brother Gaddon has sort of made his way, and by all means, if anybody sort of wants to come with him, he did sort of offer. He went to find a chapel, to sort of pray and sort of see if he could find anybody he could talk to about the corruption. I have no doubt that. Seren probably sort of hangs on, comes with you as well, sort of just to scope out the city. Is anybody else sort of going with them, or are you happy enough to leave them to their devices? Okay. So they take themselves off, and he finds a sort of small temple, and it's dedicated to it's called the Temple of Lysander. And for all of you who know your Freyan history, Lysander was the first Triarch of Taunt, the first Dragon Knight, and the first owner of Huthway's Bane. He was the one who destroyed Huthway with the sword and started the basically the Dragon Knights. You've gone in there. You've seen a temple adorned with old relics from the Kyrelian Civil War, old battle flags. You see emblems and sigils of Bahamut, and a sort of like a dais with a few sort of monks wandering around. And you've noticed a young sort of soldier in a sort of in a city guard's outfit, sort of kneeling there praying. He seemed quite upset. And you've gone and sort of knelt beside him, asked him, what did you say to him before?
No, I waited for the prayer to sort of finish, and then afterwards asked what ails him, so to speak. He can sense the distress, and it kind of and he's kind of going along with the notion that the corruption may have something to do with it, but obviously, not every single person's pain comes from the corruption when you go to a temple to pray.
Yeah. So he, the young sort of soldier, turns to you and says, he doesn't want to burden you with his problems. He's got, I don't want to bother you with my problems. There's many things going on, and I fear they're all my fault.
So Gaddon at that point then looks the young city guard in the eyes and puts a hand on his shoulder, and he says, "Look, my dear friend, I know not what ails you, but sometimes the best way to solve your own problems is to help somebody else's, and somebody else solve their problems. I admittedly have a predicament, but it may be helped by helping you. So, and when you say that it is your fault, tell me, does it feel like you did something and you made a choice, or did you feel like something else came out and controlled you? What will
He
talk to me about it.
he says, I should have stayed an apothecary's apprentice. Then they would be alive now. And he just sort of starts weeping a bit again. He says, first Sir Salden, now Lady Galandra, and I believe Sir Valishul's leaving as well. And all I can think of this is my fault. Both of these, I vowed to protect Lady Galandra, and I wasn't even there to see her final moments.
So he makes the connection based on the fact that he dropped Valashul, that Lady Galandra is the other person that was in the party. And so he kind of just looks to the chap and he says, solemnly, like he's trying to be respectful about it. He understands what bullshit he's going through. And he says, look, I'm a good friend of Valashul. We come from the same legion, the Legion of Unyielding Light. And we know a thing or two about waging war against something that is uncontrollably unfair. And you could have made any choice in the world, and in the end, you could not control it. So don't beat yourself up about it, because, it won't help anybody. It won't help you save the next Galandra or Valshul or somebody. It won't do anything. Your choices are yours alone. So instead of, well, you are allowed to feel your feelings, but in the Legion, we have this saying, don't cry, walk it off. Literally just get up, because if not, then whatever comes next, whether it's the corruption or the undying evil that we have to fight, it will come back and it will beat us again and again, and it will kill more people that we care and love. So yeah, hard story. And I actually don't know much about Valashul's retinue, other than a few friends that I've been acquainted with. So, but with this Lady Galandra, do you feel that it was your fault because she died of something?
He says, I vowed to protect her, and I vowed to protect her, and now she's dead, and I can't help but feel that I shouldn't be. I shouldn't be here. I'm not cut out for this. I was an apprentice. I was an apothecary's apprentice, and now I'm Sir Gregor, guard to the Empress, and I don't deserve this. And he
He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to be rude, but he just sort of like chortles to himself, and he says, "Oh, once upon a time, I was a fledgling, one do-gooder like yourself. I made the choice of joining the Legion a long time ago because I thought I could do good. And then every time somebody died or something went wrong, where I could have made a decision that I could have I could have known in hindsight, or using my knowledge, I beat myself up about it, just like you are. I had puffy eyes, my fur was a mess, I looked like I'd just been dragged to the mud. And that's fine. Shit as it sounds, Lady Galandra's death is not on your hands squarely. There are other forces at work. So, look, if you want to do good by anything that's happened here, you pick yourself up and you do better. You make sure it doesn't happen again, and you don't feel like it's going to, you make sure you honor her memory, because like, I bet you any money, if she was standing here right now, she would probably be saying somewhere along the lines of stop feeling sorry for yourself and be Sir Gregor, was it?
Roll me persuasion with advantage.
I suck at persuasion, but let's see how it goes.
Have a bump.
That's a good thing it's an advantage, so let's go again. This is better.
Yeah, he's sort of, he could sort of kind of a bit of a smile because he knows that Galandra would have sort of hated him moping about her, but he's still quite sort of taken by the whole thing. As you're sort of talking to him, Tharaval, you've obviously noticed Gregor going in here as you've got back into the city, and you've sort of followed, and you've seen these two people come into the temple as well. One you feel seems very familiar. She's of elf folk. She wears the same sort of garb as you, and the other one is this giant lion, which you would have never seen in your entire life. So you've sort of stood back and sort of seeing what's going on. As you've been looking for, you've seen them sort of the elf sort of take herself off into the corner and sort of sit down, and then the lion take himself off and sort of kneel beside Gregor. You see them talking, and it's up to yourself if you want to go in and say anything, or if you just want to sort of make your way back to the.
Yeah. So Tharval, he will obviously sort of, the last thing he's sort of seen before, sort of going away on his hiatus was seeing Galandra passing, so he's gonna want to go in and check on. Basically, if he's seeing Gregor going in and there's a big lion following him, he's probably going to be a little bit concerned. So he's going to go in and one check the lion's not trying to eat him, and also that you just sort of check he's okay.
So you walk in and you roll me a perception check.
Boop, boop, boop. Perception. Oh, I'm very perceptive these days.
Yep. Okay. So you notice as soon as you go in, you sort of notice the elf girl sort of sitting sort of in the corner with her sort of feet up, picking her nails with a knife, not really paying much attention, and you see there's nothing else of any major sort of concern in the room. You see Gregor sort of crying slightly, and this sort of quite regally dressed lion sort of with his hand on his shoulder sort of talking to him.
He sort of glances over to the elf, this is obviously sort of in the sort of back of his mind. It's like, he recognizes sort of familiarity, but his main concern is Gregor, so he sort of looks over to the elf sort of sitting there and was like, and just sort of shakes it off. So he walks over to Gregor, and says, "How are you, lad?"
He sort of turns around, and he sort of can't control his emotions, and he says, "Tharaval, you're back." And he sort of comes over and he gives you a big hug.
Tharaval, being the distant sort of person that he is, but it kind of breaks his barriers. They've both lost somebody that they sort of really, really care for, and he kind of, he sort of embraces them with the hug. He then apologizes that for leaving, He had personal business that he needed to attend to, but he's back now. He then sort of asks, "How are you? What has been going on? Where is the rest of the group?" And he sort of turns to the lion and he goes, he sort of says, "Have you got your Tin Man and your Scarecrow with you?"
Looking at the elf. Uh, I don't know what this inside joke is, but in Balan we don't necessarily joke about having Leonin attached to scarecrows and tin men. I'm assuming you mean Warforged.
Yes, he is but a Tin Man.
You
Again,
may not want to say that out loud in certain people's companies, because there's Warforged walking around there, and they have feelings. Or I think they do.
We go way back. So he looks at
as
Gregor
you say that,
and
as you say that, the elf sort of comes up behind you and says, "As well as far back as us, Riel, or was your name Riel or Rin? Which one was yours?"
oh fuck, I can't remember. Real.
Well, we'll say Riel for now. It could be we may have to turn it back to Rin. One of these goes Riel, one of these goes Rin. And you turn around and she puts her hood down, and she sort of gives you a look. You notice somebody who you haven't seen for a long time. She comes from your village, and left. The last you saw her was after the destruction of your city, or sorry, of your village.
So, like after the destruction of the village, or
yeah. So what happened is you took yourself off. You escaped, and then you took yourself off to kind of do your thing. You've then obviously the cities, the village has been destroyed, and you have because you were doing your bounty hunting sort of thing for a while. You've come into contact with her through that. So she was sort of a fellow bounty hunter that you sort of you were in company with. You don't know her really well. You know her from the village, but she is a sort of a lower caste than you. So you're of like more nobility, whereas she was more of sort of kind of a lower caste in the society. But she's she was known for being a bit of a she was a bit roguish, I guess. She's a roguish sort of character, always has been. So when you saw her as a part of the bounty hunting sort of crew that you were a part of, you sort of kind of knew that's where she sort of kind of belonged. You've had a few encounters with her through that, but you've gone off to do one contract to find the Warforged, which is Lance, and she's gone off to do another one, and then you haven't seen her since.
So what's her name?
Saren Sanguine.
So
That's
he
she's got
Sorry,
another
go ahead.
name, I think, but I can't remember exactly what it is. But you can call it Saren. She'll know it.
Okay, so he sort of he sort of looks her up and down as it sort of processes as to where he recognizes her from, and then whenever he sort of realizes, he says, "It's been a long time, Seren. Are you here on business? And if you are, I hope I'm not the business that you're here for."
She laughs and she says, "No, I'm not sure. I can't even remember what this sort of she would sort of call you, but I guess she would just call you Rial. No, Rial. My business is being affected by the corruption, and unfortunately, no business means no money, and I've got a family to feed. And she sort of kind of laughs. I heard you were here, and I heard about your quest to deal with the corruption, and I felt, well, if we can deal with these bad guys, business can go back to usual. I can go back to making money, and yeah. So here I am with my friends, who you've already met. And she sort of she sort of puts her hand over to Brother Gadden. He's not as fierce as he seems sometimes, but this is my companion, Brother Gadden. And it's good to see you again.
He pulls a face.
Tharival sort of he sort of smirks at is like at Sarah and is like I never saw you as a family woman, but congratulations. He then turns to Brother Gadden and he puts his hand on his chest and he sort of bows and then extends his arm to shake his hand.
And Gadden, being the gregarious character he is, he says, "Oh, fuck's sakes! If you're friends of like the motley crew on the Saren, then don't just give me a handshake." He pulls him in and just gives him a really hearty hug. There we go. In the Legion, we do more than just hugging. We fight and die together, and I hope this is going to be a similar relationship. And just kind of just shakes and then says,
Tharival sort of stands there in the hug like.
Awkward.
Okay, this is happening. And then sort of strokes his fur on his shoulders, like, "Oh, that's so soft."
"The secret is blood." I'm kidding. No, it's not. It's actually the tears of people who have been needing a shoulder to cry on. I'll wash it off later.
Well, whether it's the tears of or blood, I'm sure hanging around with Sarah, and you will find plenty of both.
Well,
she erupts in laughter.
You know something? You because you're longtime friends, or quite, I don't quite know the relationship, and she has mentioned your name actually in a few instances. Especially when she's asleep having fever dream because she's been recovering from a stab wound. That's how we met. Multiple instances where she was just cut up, and I just was there, the healer. Like, oh shit, son, she looks like she's a steak. So yeah.
He sort of turns to Sarah and is like, he says to her, is like, the idea of being a bounty hunter is, and to be being roguish is to not get hurt.
Unfortunately, one big contract too much. But I did the job. I did what I was meant to do.
He gives her he sort of goes in and gives her a hug, and he says, it's good to see you, my friend. It has been recent dark times, and he sort of puts his hand on Gregor's shoulder, and sort of gives him a nod.
Gregor sort of says, where are you to next, Tharival?
Well, I've sought you all out. I'm looking for the rest of our party. Have you seen any of them?
Maybe we can answer that because we were with them. We're saying we were at the inn somewhere closer to the center of Taunt. So, but I just came here with Seren to just be of assistance, but also I'm doing a bit of research. Basically, I didn't realize that Gregor was a companion and a third degree connection. We need to know more about the corruption, and I need to understand the various different instances of the corruption because we're going to put the ball back in its place. And he just looks around. It's like, I hope that I said that okay. He has no tact. The guy has no tact whatsoever. So
Tharival sort of he sort of appreciates, and the sort of quest for knowledge of the corruption, but then he sort of looks confused at the mention of this bull, and he sort of says, "Bull."
Oh, Not for open discussion here in such a public place. Maybe later. But suffice to say, if we can speak to people, you two seem like you're knowledgeable on this. I need to. I don't know if I'm going to get any more time to be able to listen to any other stories or some experiences around the corruption. But Saren, on the other hand, knows where the rest of the party are. So I guess, two birds with one stone. I'll come and meet you later on. I think that I need to do this in order to help us out.
Okay, cool. We'll do that then. So Saren sort of will take you off to the rest of the party, and Gadden, you'll sort of start asking a few more questions. You can just roll me some dice so we don't have to sort of because
Yeah. I was going to say we don't need to do the whole thing.
so you just sort of, or if you can just let me know what sort of information you're looking, what specific information you're looking for, and then.
So he's looking for really obscure instances where the corruption has done something that is unique. Almost like, if somebody's taken if it's taken root in a particular artifact, and what it does and what the characteristics is, if anybody's sort of like morphed into it, because then it'll help inform him and figure out what ritual.
I'd say sort of talking to the party, you're going to get a few instances because the corruption has sort of created, it sort of started in the southeast, but with its defeat at the battle of Whispering Shore, it sort of tried to find new ways into the heartland of Freya. Balon was one of these places. It has found ways to make alliances, so it made an alliance with the cult of Slackrathel to try and bring him in. It made an alliance with the Veil Walkers to bring about the Whispering Veil, so it could sort of use the Somnium Enclave as a sort of way to infect the rest of Freya. As for other artifacts, I don't think you're going to get much from other people. There might be sort of tales of weapons and items being corrupted. You would have find that once, demons like to possess sort of powerful weapons, and but other than that, I don't think you're going to get much more information.
Okay. So he'll linger around, listen to a few people, try and pick up as much as that, and then afterwards, I think once he's spent at least an hour there, he's gonna make his way back, thinking, okay, cool. That at least he tried the usual place, because temples are often a place of pain. Pain bears stories and so forth. So yeah, that's what he'll do.
Okay, cool. So back at the inn, what's going on, gents? Is there three of you at the inn? There's anybody? You're all at the inn, aren't you?
Yeah.
We're all discussing
I
the
suppose.
portal. You were all discussing
I think
the portal.
if it was just I reckon if it was just the three of us once again, we might be
It's a ring.
speaking boys club.
Oh, your little
conversation.
clubhouse, yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Sure,
Arno
whispers.
will be sort of saying. So when do you think we should go back and check on the status as to whether everything is still normal?
Surely no, something like the present. Just make sure everything's all okay in there. Start regularly and then leave it longer as we're more confident,
Let's just
So you
get over
believe
and
we
done
should?
with.
Okay. So Arno looks around and says, "Let's go then," and leads them upstairs again. I said, "Right, as with last time, this might feel a little funny. Ready?"
Yes.
And he holds the ring in his hand and looks at both of them. And all of a sudden, if they're willing, they will transport with Arno and end up back in his little hyperdimensional play in space.
Right. How do you how do I show? I've got these pages in a folder. How do I get that little thing onto my folder now? This. Okay, so you go into your little sort of pocket dimension,
Yeah.
and the bowl is sitting there, and I'm trying to find.
We wrapped it up and buried it under some cushions in the corner. So I'll gently sort of retrieve it and just unwrap it without touching the bowl. Do we feel anything strange?
There is a picture of it. I'm just trying to. I have an AI generated picture of a bowl. Where you,
I love the caveat that goes with it. Just in case we think it's terrible or something. It's like, it's AI generated.
it's not me. It's not mine. It is literally
Got
just a
7
bowl.
handles.
I tried to sort of kind of put in all these different things, but why can't I get that bloody bookmark thing moved? How do you move the bookmark onto
Click
a
up and
group,
drag.
onto a
No, you've got to open it out
You can-
and I think
And you can click on it and say like right click share to party if it's an image that you've
No,
got. in
I've
your,
made it a page.
Is it a handout or
Yeah, I've made it a
Right.
map
page.
page?
A page. Because I was.
Is the page within a folder? Because I think they might be have to be out of the folder. I think the folder's for like storage as opposed to.
All right, so I've got to move it out.
Yeah.
Right.
Why? They
It's like
almost
it's
got
like
it
succeeded the
perfect.
archive
All right,
system.
so you can't.
Yeah.
It would just be easy of being able to bookmark stuff within your organized folders. But
Yeah. Wouldn't it be great?
That
Yeah.
would be
It
so
that
easy.
wouldn't-
That would be easy, wouldn't it? Oh, fuck's sake! All right, okay. So let's do this down here then. Okay, so while I'm doing this, the bowl is it. There doesn't seem to be anything sort of coming from it. It has a bit of a glow to it, but you sort of every now and again you notice sort of black wisps of sort of ethereal smoke going through its runic body.
And was that not the case before?
No, you saw it was when it was fully infected. It was a lot brighter. It had sort of red runes, and it was more like there was like this ring of sort of like
Okay.
smoke.
Okay, so Arno will say, so yes, we expected something. Barty, do you want to feel the magic energy around here and sort of invite him to I don't know, maybe do an Arcana check and see.
Are you touching it, by the way? Who touched that? Was
I'm
it
not
you?
touching it.
No.
Nobody touched
It was wrapped in like cloth, wasn't it? So like
Yeah, we wrapped it and
Proper, like,
very,
CSI,
very
yeah.
carefully opened it up. So.
No physical contact has occurred.
Yeah. So he'll say, do you want to inspect it closer, Barty, or shall we
I'll have a
wrap
look
it
at
up and come back tomorrow?
It appears to be much the same as last we saw it. I do worry, though, it may be trying to present a pleasing appearance. It went all evil-like when it was under the evil influence. I wonder if it's purposely putting on a softer look
Well,
for us now.
As long as we don't touch it, then perhaps it will stay safe. I, for one, have not felt any influence.
It was when I slept close by it. That's when it got to me. But maybe over time it'll find a way to reach out from this place. Speaking of which, could you have a look around your haven, make sure that it is all as it should be? There's no evidence of.
Change.
I'll look around. Do I note any change in my pocket dimension, or is everything?
Yeah,
as
I'll
I...
not make a roll on it. There's no real change and stuff. The bowl is maybe it's a lot less in that less. It's more inert than it was previously, but
Yeah.
you do notice the sort of kind of wisps of sort of black every now and again. They're very faint, but they are there.
Okay, Anna will then say, no, all seems to still be as it was, but the signs that this bowl are showing us are or not, as we did not suspect already, I think this is a ticking time bomb. We need to get where we're going and get there fast.
Yes, yeah. I think the sooner it is disposed of, the more advantageous. Although maybe if we leave it longer, we could get away with a trifle attunement and use some of its more.
I think this is not something we should be risking.
Well,
That lion would have your head besides.
only in emergencies, though, surely. But anyway, it's academic. Let's get going.
Definitely.
Oh no, we'll swoop the cloth over the bowl as well once and twice, and put a cushion over it and nod. And then
as
they'll
you sort of
transport
kind of
back
put
into-
the cover over it, you get this flash of you get. God damn it! Why can't I show these pictures? It's so annoying.
Can you send it on the WhatsApp? So we can at least
Fuck's
see?
sake!
Or not?
They're all nicely in this
um,
folder. How do I show them from
I-
this fucking folder?
So
You can
is
drag
it?
'em
It's
out, click
it's
the
an
controller
item,
and
isn't
drag
it?
them outside of it.
No,
If it's an item in the book.
no, I've put,
No,
I-
he's made
think it's only like a
a
map
page.
I've made a page.
Pull
because-
the page out of the folder. Put it in the instead of in the subdirectory. Put it in the parent
In
In the main
directory.
folder, yeah, because there should be a little two boxes at the top that says display, and then you can choose to display to players, and it's in the top right of it normally, unless they've changed the UI recently.
Okay. So
I'm sure it'll be lovely.
Ugh.
Like nice little runes on it.
Good. Okay, let's see. We do this, that. Okay, so why does it move up here? That's so annoying. What's the point of having folders if you can't fucking show? You can't move things into the folders.
It's like the archive system. There used to be a
Yeah.
bin that you just chucked everything into. Now it's slightly more organized.
Offline
so
folders.
fucking annoying, man.
You're supposed to pull the stuff out you need for that session from the folder, I think.
Yeah.
It is silly though, isn't it?
I guess that
So get
makes
it-
sense.
get it on the
in a-
route.
It makes sense
Get it
in
on
a
the route, whatever
weird,
you want
in a
on it.
weird sort of way, I guess.
It doesn't matter
in
if it makes
some-
sense to you or not. Just do it,
Yeah,
and then you'll be happier.
yeah. It's
Everything
So-
is
Or
relative.
Or don't. It's entirely up to you.
I don't
He
play by
might
the
like being
rules, even my
frustrated.
own rules. I just like mess everywhere. It's like my life.
A loose cannon.
Yeah.
That's it. It's an organized mess, isn't it? You
An
know exactly
organized
where it is.
mess. Everything is where it
Okay.
should be in this organized mess. Okay, right.
What?
All right. So the bowl.
So are you showing us something?
Yeah,
or-
the
or no?
bowl looks like
Yeah.
this. Ooh, it's a
Oh,
nice,
lovely.
It's a nice
Very
bowl.
nice.
There you go.
Nice little like optical illusion at the bottom there.
Yeah,
like,
it's like so you sort of see the
wow.
the runic symbols around it that used to glow sort of kind of red, but you see like these wisps, they sort of wisp through. But as you put the sort of cover over it, you get this quick glimpse of this. It's flashes through your head, very brief. It flashes through your head, very quickly, and then it's gone. It's back.
Okay,
And-
so Anna will sort of momentarily kind of stop as he lets loose the cloth and step back and kind of swallow and just go. So, are we ready to head back?
I step forward, check the cloth to make sure it's secure, and say, I don't think we want to stay here any longer than we have to.
I agree.
Mm.
And
By
Anna
all
sort
means.
of
You-
looks down and
You do look a little pale. Is everything okay there? Did you touch it?
I didn't. Yeah, let's get out of here and return again tomorrow.
Very well.
Okay. So you sort of come out of your little hidey hole, and you make your way downstairs again.
Stop mocking it! Stop mocking my pocket dimension!
Refer to it as it is. We're all hiding inside his ring.
Oh yeah,
Three of
right.
us.
That's what I was
Hiding
going to
inside.
say. The ring.
You were all tightly
Squeeze
packed
in.
inside his ring, and
Yes.
you know,
Because that's the thing. It's quite difficult to get inside, but once you breach it, it's very comfortable.
Yeah, you just have to
Ring of
tease it, and
fire.
you have to tease it and wiggle your way into the ring.
oh
Inch by
man.
inch.
So
Yeah.
you make your way into the ring, and come out of the ring. You squeeze out of the ring, you know, like that thing in what's it called, Ace Ventura, where he sort of comes out.
Oh my god, with the
He's
rhino!
coming out of the rhino's ass. Anyway, so
See, I was thinking more Sadako from The Ring, but that'll do.
Oh yeah, that's even more
and you make
disturbing.
your make your way downstairs. As you sort of kind of do it, you notice sort of Tharaval, see Tharaval sitting there, with Gregor and Cerevel.
Arno stops on the stairs as he walks down, and yeah, I guess let's Lance go ahead.
I slip past or step over, not sure which.
Oh,
As long as it's not step on, that's fine with me.
a bit of A, bit of B.
It was
Just
dangle
slightly
on the way
widen the
past.
gate.
Yeah. I walk over and reach out and take Tharaval's hand or forearm and say, "It's good that you found your way back. I see you've picked up another old friend while you were on the way."
Tharaval sort of, he's obviously happy to see them, but he's kind of annoyed at himself for leaving again at at the time that he did. He does give Lance shakes his arm and pats him on the shoulder and says, "It's good to see you again, old friend. It's funny seeing you in a place like this. No good comes from drinking in taverns. I'm sure Val will know that." And he sort of looks round.
Yeah, we some things have occurred while you were absent. I'm afraid that Val no longer travels with us. He has had to answer his other responsibilities, and so he has returned after those responsibilities decided to take a piece out of the city.
Well, he's a loss to us all, but if he is healthy and well, then Bahamut be with him. On the bright side, it's one less person to look after in a tavern. But then he sort of turns to Seren and says, "Well, maybe not."
Okay.
Arno now comes down and trots up into Tharaval's view and says, "So, you have returned after all."
Again, because things were probably still quite distant as far as Barney, where he puts his hand on his chest and he just bows to him. He says, "Yes, I've returned after some personal business, Master Halfling."
Arno just says, "I understand, and I see. You should know this means a great deal. That you continue your journey, our quest. It is good to see another ally." And then just quickly he kind of shrugs it off and looks at Seren and says, "So, she was telling the truth. You do know her."
Much to my dismay, yes, we know each other well.
She's not here to defend herself.
Yeah, I get digs in while I can.
You'll watch the replay and then
But
you're doomed.
he puts his hand on her shoulder and says, "We go way back and have had many adventures in the past. So yes, we know each other well."
And he says, and you can be certain that she can be trusted in addition to her company she keeps. And he sort of side eyes Brother Garden without actually looking him in the eye, just focusing on Thurible.
He's not there yet. He's kind of just.
He's not. Sorry. Well, I'll just say it then without.
Yeah, sure.
He says to Arno, "Is like, I don't think me vouching for a friend will be enough for you, Master Halfling. You learned to trust us, and over time, hopefully, you can learn to trust her too."
I need to know if you trust her.
He turns to Seren and sort of looks her straight in the eye, and he nods. He says, "Yes, I do."
Can I roll an insight check on Thurible, please?
Yes, you can indeed.
It is a 12. So whether you're telling the truth or not, I don't know.
You know, all that's happened to you, and all that's happened is made you somewhat more. I think it's you were going through this sort of journey.
Arno wants to believe.
Yeah.
Like he wants to sort of believe that Thurible trusts her because he's just tired of all of the. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from our sort of backstory with Seren, can I sort of make a persuasion to, like, basically, I want to sort of persuade Arno that.
Yeah, you can basically. There's not a lot. There's not a lot of sort of detail in how you know each other, so you can make stuff up if you want. So you can sort of make up what you need.
So he sort of turns to Arno and says, we have hunted many a bounty together, even at the expense of each other. We're as in. We're both looking for the same bounty, and whoever gets it gets the money. There have been times when I've saved her. There's been times when she has saved me. A friendship is there, a friendship and honor, which is rarely found amongst bounty hunters. Has been made. I would trust her as one of my own, as much as I trust the likes of you lot.
Arno nods and says,
"Do I need to roll a persuasion for that or anything?"
Yeah, why not? Let's see how he reacts.
Troubled times.
Okay, 13. I think very well. If you are happy that they travel amongst us for now, I will extend my trust as trust to you, as long as you don't try and push me in any more rivers. It's just all a little too coincidental for me how she ends up looking for you in Taunt without so much as a reason, but wanting to help.
Oh, mate.
And he gets up and
I just rest my hand on your shoulder as you stand up and say, I used to be quite suspicious about these sorts of
chaps,
things.
before you start, I think, can somebody just check the stream quickly? Because I'm having some serious internet issues here, I think.
Yep, stream is lagging.
Yeah, let me check.
Well, you are. We are. I think we're all right.
Yeah, there's going to be a few seconds in there.
we're fine.
Yeah, looks good.
Sorry, Lance, you said you used to have.
Yeah, I rest my hand on Marlo's shoulder and say, I used to have issues around the convenient happenings, but I've learnt that the old man may not be able to pop up as he once did, he has a way of pointing people in our direction when we need them. And I know that's a difficult one to come to terms with. It's not like we're particularly used to having certain kinds of beings quite so deeply involved in our day-to-day life. And I'm not particularly religious as a general rule, but it's easier to roll with it sometimes, and it gives you an awful lot less headaches.
Very well. And Arno nods at Tharavel, and he just says, I'm going to get some air. If we are indeed to leave, you'll find me in the town square. And he genuinely will be going there to like park his ass on a bench or something in the fresh air, and he's going to think about a few things, including what he just saw with the bowl, including, you know, this whole party and where they are now. And conveniently, I will log off stream as well. So just remember, take Arno with you.
How long's your meeting going to be?
It's probably going to be an hour. So there's a chance if you're still going, I'll come back.
Yeah.
I'll leave my session on so I don't screw up your Discord. But maybe I'll be able to be back.
Okay, man. No bother. Cool.
All right. I'll see you in a bit. Yeah.
Cool, man.
See you in a bit.
In a bit.
Bye.
Okay, so slightly different places.
Change places.
Okay, so so he's kicking himself off. And what are the rest of you gonna do?
So Barty will just say, like, to Farival, well met. You've made your way back to us. Just as we were preparing to leave, we're heading off to Kyrilia. Somewhere a bit backwatery. So if you have any exotic supplies you might need to pick up, I'd suggest getting them here. And then we'll let us know when you're ready.
Tharavel smiles and say, for the short time I've known you, Barty, you always make me feel welcome. Good health to you. And he again extends his arm and to shake his hand.
Thank you. And Bile, shake it back.
Okay, so do you want to tell them your plan then? What you're choosing, you're going to do, how it's going to happen, etc.
Yeah, come Farival. I'll extend a flagon of ale to your hearty handshake. And it's sort of like they find like a quiet corner. It's like sit down. He's like, well, the plan as we see it so far is we've discovered the existence of a location known as the Somnium Enclave. It's a strange place between worlds. We're not sure exactly how to get it. We believe there's a portal not far off the coast of Kyrilia. And to get there, we're going to teleport to the nearest town. So once we're there, we don't really know what we're getting into, but we do know it's a Dreamwalker's it's a place of worship. There's many aspects to it.
As he sort of mentions Dreamwalkers, you'll sort of semi know what he's talking about because because you've been through the whole thing with Dreamwalkers before. So yeah, you know.
Yeah.
You'll know actually because you not know about the Somnium Enclave, so you'll know that obviously if it's a part of the Dreamwalker. Yeah, so ignore me, because you kind of know about the Dreamwalkers and you make the connect.
Yeah. The information is unverified, but it appears to be some sort of seat of power. There's some sort of astral observatory there. I'm not sure what goes on. Some gardens of dreams, but more importantly, there's the Veil and the Dreamwalkers meet and ceremonies take place. There's also a Veil chamber, a secure sanctuary where the Veil of Whispers is protected.
Oh,
So
somebody's
somewhere
taking
amongst
notes.
all of this mess, somewhere amongst all of this mess, there should be a way for us to place the ball back where it belongs, and hopefully, our Leonin friend over there might be able to expunge the corruption within it.
Have you returned, Brother Gadden, just to sort of expedite things?
Yeah, I should have. I should have come back by then. And if anything, he's I'd hope that he'd come back as in between Arno leaving, but he would see that. I don't know. So he's going to see that if Arno's left the inn. He's going to steer well clear of him, mostly because he doesn't want to dance again. And if he does, he'll probably light his hair. So he'll go in mixed emotions, mostly disappointment and then frustration at the little halfling who could rather yeet at this point. Then he'll see that the party's kind of split into two. Tharavol and Barty is on the right, in the corner somewhere, chatting away. And then Saren and Lance. Did Gregor go with them as well?
Gregor's there. I'm assuming Ceravel's probably rocked up as well. Back with Ceravel is Tharavol's twin brother. So
okay, cool. So in that case, yeah, and then he will go to the point of familiarity. As much as he would love to go and chat with Barty and Tharavol, he also understood, kind of reads between the lines that if you're going to a corner, it's time. So he goes over to the other party.
Okay.
Arno fessed up. Did Arno fess up to knowing more about the body as well? Or
Yeah, he told. I'm pretty sure he told you all where it was. Yeah, Jorah thrust it. So
we did, and we said we weren't going to do it because it was a risk.
Yeah, but I will inform Tharavol that it's like we've identified where the body's going to be kept, but we've decided that the
where Draken's body is.
Yeah, so it's like ball first, body later. I believe there's a person of some note to you, so I did not want you to worry about plans maybe being diverged or concentrations lapsing. It's still very much on the radar, whatever that is.
This all seems acceptable to me. Putting us in a position to incite vengeance against those who've killed my father and destroyed my people makes me very happy.
Saren sort of nods and gives a sort of Latvian sort of salute. Okay, so you're going to take yourselves off. You're going to portal to Garley Hold. Are you basically going to get everybody together and do it within the tavern? Whereabouts she is? Are you going to tell everybody what the plan is? You can only do 8. You can only have 8 people.
We can have 8 people plus me, I think.
Plus you, 8 people plus you.
Me. You've got to be within 10 feet of me and be willing. But I'm guessing everyone would be. We could go to the town centre and get Arno, and then find a quiet sort of alleyway, or we could go send someone to fetch him and bring him back.
Yeah. Okay, right.
And then I'm ready to go.
I turn and Capshi nods and heads off to go and get Arno.
One moment, actually. Are you sending a boy? And then
Eldrith's another is a ranger.
Oh, fair enough. Would it be too much to ask you to pick up 10 potions of healing whilst you're out there? I've got a lot of gold. And,
he just looks at Barty like, are you just? I'm standing here.
By the time he says that, Eldrith has already gone, having made herself scarce. And I just look at Barty and say, I'm pretty sure if you want to make the time to go shopping, you're more than welcome to go shopping.
I'll just nip out.
Yeah.
No offense.
Okay, so just you go to the nearest sort of store and you get yourself 10 potions of healing. Sure how much it costs and stuff.
I think they're 50 a piece, but if there's greater available,
you can have greater if you want. I'm sure you can find them. Just deduct the.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Box. If anybody else wants to do it, mindful also. There's going to be loads of combat in this one. It's more going to be, there will be maybe a bit now in the game, but I'm possibly going to do a new thing where bad guys are going to be easier to kill, but maybe harder hitting. So it'll be very much like you shoot an arrow at them, they're dead. So it'll be like John Wick sort of thing. So you can it's a bit more sort of heroic and you hit things, but they'll probably hit harder and there'll probably be more of them. Make it
Good.
feel a bit more cinematic. Because I'm thinking, be sort of. I think because there's always that thing where you should have, well, it's not. Tharavel doesn't have the issue generally because he just kills things anyway. But I think it'll sort of also mean that if you've got spell shot slots and ammunition will be a bit more important.
If you want to be Pathfinder monsters have really cool traits, where they'll do the like pretty much similar damage to D&D but a bit harder, but then they do really nasty things like they'll just make you bleed out or steal some of your
well, it's not even that. I think it's more that you've got a lot of sort of stuff where they pile around you and you're spending a couple of turns hitting them. Where I quite like the idea of if it's just like a basic cultist, you're one shotting them. You're level 13, level 14 now, and I reckon you'll be doing stuff like like if it's Tharavel, it'll be Legolasing and stuff like that. So it'll just like people will go down, but I'll just make it that when the damage hits you, it'll probably be slightly more, and there'll probably be more of them just to sort of make it feel a bit more cinematic, and things will go a bit faster in certain ways because it'll just be you will be killing stuff. It'll feel hopefully it'll feel a bit more like cinematic. We'll see. We'll give it a whirl. If it works, it works. I think that's where it's not gonna be for a bit anyway. Maybe when we get to the Jorah Thrasta, it'll be more like that. But I'll try it out maybe later on.
That'd be cool.
Right. Okay. So yeah, if you want to do any shopping, we can do that in the RP chat. So we can basically sort of go back. So we can say you've done your shopping, you come back, and then in the chat, in downtime, you can tell me what you've bought, what you've done, Brother God, and if you want to go off and do a bit more chatting with people.
Yeah. My only thing is that I probably need to ask you outright. So I'm going to be chasing for a ring of spell storing.
A ring of
that's a rare. Rare.
Well, usually what I do in the shops is I do a generator on what's there.
Okay, cool.
But if you're looking for that in general, we could maybe do some rolls to see if you sort of find a shop, and then maybe do if there is one.
Let's do that afterwards.
We'll do that. We'll do that in the chat.
Okay.
Do some bartering. Okay, so all shopping done, potions and ammunition and stuff purchased. You sort of cluster around Barty. So it's definitely 8 plus you, so there's 9 altogether.
Just double checking. You and up to it, or 1 item. So if we need to, for example, if we need to make sure the bowl goes very far away very quickly.
Bowl doesn't count because it's in a different dimension, right?
No, it is now, but we can pull it out of the ring and then yeet it.
Yeah, but you're taking the ring with you.
What you're saying is, if we want
I'm not saying now, but it has a potential plan for the future.
Oh, okay.
If it starts to make us go really like do lally, then we'll just straight to the nearest.
Wait, teleport is what level again?
7th. It blew my mind.
You're making me really hungry. Your crisps.
Sorry.
Last week you had the most amazing looking wrap or sandwich.
Oh.
Yeah, like
I can't remember what I ate.
One of those things where it looks so good you can almost smell it.
Oh god, I can't remember what I ate last week. I was eating though.
I'm gonna guess that Turkish sausage.
No, because I eat everything's vegetarian for me, so I just can't remember what I ate. Eat a wrap. Yeah, it was some sort of wrap. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was messing around with my computer yesterday. I've unplugged things. That sort of. Okay, so I think we should be back to where we are. Okay, right. So because you can get 9 people, you will be able to take 3 companions with you, which I'm assuming are going to be Ciravel, Eldrith, and Gregor.
Gregor's got a job with.
Oh, if Lady
He's like a
yeah, he's a guard now, isn't he? Yeah. He'll insist and he wants to go, and he says he'll sort of he'll request permission to leave, if you'll have him.
I turn to the others and say, "Give me a second. We need to go and see the Empress."
Okay.
Actually,
And to make
just
sort of
tow
kind of
him with me.
yeah, and to make things sort of kind of again sort of not we're not sort of well
We'll deal with that offline.
Yeah, we'll deal with it offline, but we'll just say sort of. Well, actually, no. If he comes or not, depending on what that conversation happens, so we don't really need to know now. There's if the space is there, there's the space there if he does. If he doesn't,
yeah.
okay. So you do what you're going to do, and you tell them to prepare yourself. You bring out a picture of Garley Hold that you have from one of the books that you brought. You sort of tell them that it's quite a beautiful port. You sort of have this sort of thing that used to be quite the sight from back in the day when I was a boy. My father used to tell me of many tales about it. Actually, no, because you would have known the Enclave, so no, your father would have told you about it, and he would have sort of shown you the pictures and sort of said, there's a port, and you've got this picture, so you kind of have a vague idea. You're going to sort of plop yourself down near the port, because that wouldn't have sort of moved anytime soon. And that's sort of where you're going. Anything you need to do before you portal off?
No.
No, I'll just instruct everyone to come tight together. You don't have to hold hands, but it might help just in case anyone strays off into the middle of the astral ether or whatever. But all aboard the party bus, let's go. So
you don't need to roll anything. We're just sort of accepting that it's going to take you with little or no mishap. You sort of, your portal, is a portal appear you have to walk through, or do you just sort of teleport?
No, it's a question of you're one space in 1 second, and then boop, you're somewhere else.
Yeah,
maybe I'd imagine there's a massive feeling of nausea, dislocation, and general tummy twists involved.
Exactly that, and then you sort of kind of find yourself sort of on the dock. Roll me a dexterity saves.
Cool. That's my shittest one. Hey.
Ow. So mine says 6, but it's actually an 18 as I use my portent feat for the second time.
Okay.
Just want to double check my Cloak of Elven Kind.
Is that Eldrith?
I think it just gives me.
Yeah, first one was Eldrith.
First one was Eldrith. Second one is
Lance. Because I've done it from the app, so it's actually put who I am underneath it.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Nice.
Oh, cool. It's the little things.
Okay,
Yes.
Right. So you want us to
Dex save.
dex saves?
I may sort of at some point I may give you. Yeah. Okay. Tharavel. What about Ciravel?
Oh, he's more dexy than me.
Yep. Okay. So you sort of 1 minute you're sort of in the tavern. The next minute, Bartholomew, Brother Gaddon, Lance, Eldrith, you sort of kind of do a cartoonish sort of look down, and as you plummet into the water by the harbor, Tharaval sort of kind of manages to sort of Tharaval and Serval manage to sort of kind of like airwalk effectively onto the side of the dock before
That's where
they.
she'd be good as well, shouldn't she? Or is she?
Yeah,
16?
Barty did.
Oh yeah, sorry,
shifted my
Barty. I
boat
forgot.
speed.
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
18. Yeah, so you make it across, whereas Brother Gaddon, Lance, you sort of kind of you
Love
make yourself into the water. We'll say that well, we don't know if Gregor's there or not yet, but yeah. So you've got Lance and Brother Gaddon who plummet into the depths, and to the laughter of the local fishermen.
I walk ashore a short while later, picking bits of seaweed off of me, and as I pass them, I throw a couple of fish at them and say, "There you go, little bit of payment for the show."
Yeah, Gaddon's gonna just swim, and as they're laughing, he smirks, and then he just waits because he knows that Leonin are not native to Kyrillia.
You sort of,
Anyway,
they
shape, or
see
form.
this. They see the Warforged coming out, and it's not like they're not uncommon, but they know of them, and they know of you. You know, they heard that, so they laugh. But as they see this sort of wet creature coming from the depths, covered in seaweed and kelp and things, it's a bloody monster! Run for it! As they sort of kind of scarper out of the way as you sort of come out of the water.
And then he just stretches and just kind of picks off the seaweed, and he goes, "Oh well, now I've got something else to make my fur feel nice and soft and silky," and just like then shakes it all off like really rigorously, and then just like hopefully the seaweeds all come off, but if not, there might be some stuck in his coronet. Otherwise, yeah, and then just kind of trudges through, thinking to himself that actually he could have done with this earlier on because he did smell a little bit of burning building and Valashil's fireball.
Okay, so you reconvene on the port. So I'll give you a bit more about Garley Hold. Perched atop of cliffs, grazing somberly upon the enchanted spectacle of the gazing on the somberly upon the enchanted spectacle of Somnian Enclave. Garley Hold was once a flourishing and strategic trading port. The city's mighty walls, watchtowers, and docks were a testament to its former grandeur, standing as a fortress against the tumultuous seas and a hub for marine commerce. Garley Hold boasted architectural marvels that combined particularly with elegance, stone structures that showcased intricate carvings, and the lighthouse, a once proud beacon, now cast its lights over waters that seemed more foreboding than welcoming. The city thrived on the diverse array of goods flowing through the markets, from exotic spices and textiles. Garley Hold's a melting pot of cultures and beacons for ambitious traders seeking opportunities and prosperous markets. Unfortunately, the theft of the Veil of Whispers, however, cast a shadow over Garley Hold. The Whispers, once distant, grew more insistent, and the corruptive influence of the stolen artifact began to erode the foundation of the city's prosperity. As the Whispers intensified, trade routes shifted away from Garley Hold. Merchants, fearing their growing instability, rerouted their ships to safer harbours, leaving the city's docks eerily quiet. Once thriving markets diminished. Garley Hold's economy suffered straining alliances with neighbouring regions that had relied on economic strength. The city's political influence waned, and strained diplomatic ties further deepened the challenges it faced in the wake of the Veil of Whispers corruption. The people themselves, the face of their challenge, the people of Garley Hold display resilience. Some are determined to uncover the source of the city's decline. take away to counteract the corruptive influence. You sort of note, Barty, from the tales that you've told from your father about the area, it doesn't look the way it sort of should look. Unfortunately, I don't have an altered version of it because the AI wouldn't sort of make it all nasty and stuff. But you've basically got the picture of what you have from the book and the reality of it. Like, you can see some of the towers and you can see some of what was a beautiful place once, but it's very worn and tattered and old. It doesn't look like it's been cared for, and the people there look quite sort of worn, tired, poor.
Okay. I apologise for those of you that took a short bath. I don't think we did too badly with that spell. But
Really
looking
not a
around-
problem. It's not like I had to worry about drowning.
I think I
Exactly.
just washed off the burnt smell.
You're very kind. Anyway, it looks as though the town itself is it's not quite as I remembered it. Not as pretty. I think
Just
maybe the way of the
can-
world these days.
In my
Can you-
experience, memory is often a little tiny bit like that.
Can he just like? Can he sense? Actually, no. Go for it. Let's do it. Do I have? I want to. Do I have what? I'm trying to figure out if I have that channel divinity ability. Good sense, good and evil. No, I don't.
More a paladin thing, isn't it? I think.
Well, certain clerics have it. I just can't remember if the light one had it. Or channel divinity. No, I've only got turning not dead. That's fine.
Yeah.
No, I do have one other one though. I want to sense good and evil around, whilst Barty's talking, of course.
Okay. As you do it, you don't.
No, I don't have a spell for it. Yeah,
You don't have the spell for it.
but I don't have a spell, but I want to use one of the skills to kind of like assert if, because he suspects that this is all related to the corruption, and in particular the fact that the bowl's missing.
Yeah, you you sort of take a look around and you give me an insight. Give me an insight check, man.
Meh.
You're not super confident that this is completely the doing of the sort of corruption or the bowl. More so, it's potentially just a city, a once glorious city, has found bad times, is fallen upon bad times. You sense maybe there is potential threat, but it's no more a sense than you would get from any main city, especially one as tired looking as.
So he's just going to go and agree with the sentiment that Mark said. Lance said about the city just saying that it's fallen on hard times, but he doesn't say it outwardly. He just kind of nods in agreement.
So Darley Hold is the main sort of kind of city you've got to. Where you're needing to go to is Brian. Go.
Went too far away, if I remember correctly, about 50 miles maybe.
It's actually, I think it's only a couple of hexes.
It's 3 hexes.
Is
I
it
thought
50
it was
miles
3.
per hex?
No, 5 miles per hex.
It is 5 miles. So you're looking at
Short walk from
Yeah.
lost.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hexes.
Yeah. So you are there.
So that's 35 miles. I think, and that's because we're counting the portal, in which case that'd be 8.
So yeah, you're
We'll have to
looking
go to
what
the portal, yeah.
5-10 to the bridge, and then it's a long bridge across to where the portal is. So it'll take you maybe half a day to get to the bridge itself, and then you expect it'll take you the rest of the day to get across that sort of the bridge that's on the map.
Could we sail?
You could potentially get a boat from Garley Hole, go that direction. Yeah.
What
That
say? Shall we?
sounds logical to me.
I don't think we should. Well, you can do whichever. I think that either way, if we do end up sailing, we'll have company. Whereas if we're walking the bridge, it's just us. And I don't know how many other pilgrims who decide to walk along. So I actually prefer the idea of the ship because we can actually choose how well armed our ship is going to be. Although he just looks at the dock. Looking at the pickings, it's looking slim. So I don't suppose we can commandeer as close to a warship as possible because
Not that kind
just
of
in
fort.
case.
A simple fishing vessel would have
Yeah,
suited
it's
my
just
needs, but
Just realized
I
you
mean-
guys still have you still technically have your own
The
warship.
Avalon.
Yeah, the Avalon. You've got your own.
But we kind of left it behind a bit.
Yeah, you
what was
did.
that? What was it? on?
Just like everything else.
So when
I
they
wanted to
did
call it 5-finger discount. but they wouldn't let me.
pre-battle of
Long-standing
Kibarath,
ship
so they
with
had
that.
like a big land battle for their first battle. The second battle was a sea battle, so I did some ship combat with them and stuff. So they captured a warship, and then they spent a few months building some sloops and things to fight a naval battle. So they've got their own warship. Effectively, it's currently in Pont Harbor somewhere.
Well, in that case, if you want to be a bit more frugal about it, I suppose we could go with the a fishing ship. But there's a saying in Balan: "Fortune favors the prepared."
As you're sort of kind of discussing this, a sort of old
wait,
fisherman
wait.
sort of comes up. So right there, boys. Looking for transport, are you? I've got the
What-ho?
fastest ship in these areas. If you need some help, a reasonable
Ahoy.
price.
Ahoy, my good man. We are an archaeological expedition looking for traces of a portal on an island nearby. I don't suppose you know of such a place.
Oh,
It's,
indeed, yes, I do. Yes, that would be the portal by the and he sort of that thing over there, and he sort of points towards the sort of clouded enclave. He says, that place over there. Yes, there's a portly thing below it.
Wonderful. How much to convey us?
He sort of goes, let me see, and he sort of gets out this sort of little abacus and starts kind of going, and looks at sort of Lance and moves 3 over, and then sort of looks at sort of Brother Gadden, moves 5 over, and then sort of like
He just looks wait. Does he see what he's doing with the abacus? And
yeah,
like,
yeah, you can see it.
okay, cool. I've got because I was going to roll perception otherwise, but he just looks at him like sordidly and like I'm not fucking. Okay, fine.
And he sort of he starts flicking, and he says, "Oh yeah, that'll be with 9 of yous."
I loom above him and say, I just loom above him, looking threatening.
And he
He
sort of
knocks a couple of beads back across.
yeah, so he sort of he says that'll be, and he was going to give you an outrageous number, and then he sort of flicks it back and says, "Well, that'll be 20 gold each."
I raise an eyebrow.
And
He says,
then
10 gold, 10 gold each.
then Gadden goes and says, this archaeological expedition, as well as being funded by the Legion of Unyielding Light in the service of Bahamut, I don't suppose that you can perhaps also extend a kind heart and gesture towards servants of the light in potential, let's just say, dividends that you'll get lots of fortune in return.
Oh, so are you persuading him or are you intimidating him?
I'm gonna persuade him. He's not horrible at all.
Okay, so-
I'm gonna
Yeah,
just
just
roll
come
see
back
how
up.
it goes.
Wow. All right. Okay. So he sort of the concept of making more. He's well, you've piqued my interest there. Well, rich as you say. So what's in it for me? I might be able to sort of knock this down to, well, let's say free if I get something in return.
Well, I can't promise you anything, and my good wizard friend here is definitely more, let's just say, learned in what is potentially available. But I promise that we, on the caveat of the Legion, that good things will come to you, and I don't want to name what they would look like materially, maybe, and if so, yes, sure. And he just kind of like looks at one of his patches in his cloak, and he's just like, which one do I give him?
Oh yeah, you've got your
Behind-
patches. Yeah. So,
Standing behind Gadden, my smile becomes distinctly not friendly as I stare at the fisherman, as if to say, "Don't go there."
I know, but we have to create a path of like influence. Otherwise, we may not. If we ask for not help, not basically, if we want help, you may not get it quickly.
are you
Learned my
giving him
lesson.
one of your patches? Are you giving him a patch?
No. I'm thinking as I go along. He's like fingering along the. This is gonna sound weird, but fingering the patches to like think on the spot, just in case he's like asking for what
Fitting
kind of
into
evidence.
rings
But
and
obviously-
fingering patches. Right?
No.
Fur patches. You didn't know
Oh,
what
Yeah. But yeah, so he says, no, but that's the kindness of your heart, please. 3 will be more than sufficient to put our party across. And yes, we can figure out what sort of riches may come along. And also we'll ensure the protection of yourself. That's very important.
Yeah, okay.
these
So
days.
he's not really worried about he's the concept of riches and things have completely sort of spiked his interest. He says, "All right then, yeah. This is my girl over here. This is old Petunia. She's a good wee ship. Quite fast for what you need. Enough space for all of us. I'll be setting off in the next tide, which will be tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Okay. And thank you for offering this passage. May I know your name, please? Oh, we know your name.
They what are they gonna?
This is a bad idea.
What are they gonna call me?
If they get named, they usually die.
He's gonna be called. I'm gonna let ChatGPT name him. Name me a fisherman captain.
Bob Ned.
Jonah, this is why ChatGPT is so shit sometimes. Jonah is called the name of the captain is Jonah Fisher.
Come
That's so
on.
lame.
Classic.
That's
Dumb.
lame. Screw you, ChatGPT. That's
Well,
lame.
surely that's where like surnames come from.
Yeah,
from
but
your-
I kind of want. It's gonna be something stupid. It's gonna be called. He's gonna
I
be
bet
called.
he.
Jonah. He's gonna be called Jonah.
I bet he's
Tuna-
gonna be a
Jonah-
whale of a
Jonah-
time.
Jonah Tuna Face.
Oh no, it will
Swordfish.
be. Okay, right, we'll do this. He's called. He's gonna be called Jonah.
Herringbird.
He's gonna be called
Herringbird.
Chunfasi. He's gonna call himself Jonah Chunfasi. But obviously like a Mrs. Bouquet sort of thing. But like it's gonna be Jonah Chunfasi. They call me Jonah Chunfasi. And the other fisherman says, "Oh, tuna face, you mean tuna face?" And they all sort of kind of laugh. Don't listen to them. It's Chunfasi.
All right, Jonah, thank you. At least we now can put a face to Petunia. So good. We shall see you soon. We're gonna go find some lodgings in the meanwhile. If you have any recommendations, do let us know. Otherwise,
Yeah, he sort of says, there's the local, there's the old, there's the Somnian Arms, the Somnian Arms, which they do good. They do good food and good lodgings at a reasonable price. Tell them that Jonah Chunafasi sent you there.
No problem. We will do. And if you're in before you sail and you want a refreshment before you go, then do come seek us out as well. I guess.
I will. Thank you very much, sir.
And then just
All
looks at
that
everybody
money
else.
we saved, spent in booze.
Well, in the service of unyielding light, you do things.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've heard stories.
So, are
I
you
know.
taking yourself off into town?
Yeah, shall we? Let's do it.
Let's say check out the local colour.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you make your way into town. Again, it's the back on. So it's a sort of it's a tiered sort of city. It's not as big as sort of say Taunt, but you could see that it was once quite a grand place. But the gates are barely guarded. You've got a half-hour sort of sleeping guardsman on the main gates, and a few sort of drunk other guards sort of standing there, not really paying attention as you walk in. They barely sort of kind of notice your entrance into the city. You see a lot of sort of shacks and former houses that are sort of like stone buildings that have been overrun by weeds, and nature is sort of reclaimed. There's also a lot of stray sort of kind of ragged children running around you. Roll me perception, all of you.
Oh, I'm good at that. I think but my app has just died on me. Hey, vey. Yeah, for some reason. Oh, there's something wrong with Amazon.
Okay.
Nope, there. It's back.
That first one was Cerevel.
Lance did pretty well at that one.
Yep.
Is Cerevel.
Okay. Well, in short, everybody sort of kind of notices that, having been aware of pickpockets that sort of are around in Taunt, you're very aware of sort of young children running around your person. Bartholomew's completely oblivious to sort of it, and is just sort of looking around and not paying attention to his surroundings. It's the same with Brother Gaddon. You're not really paying attention to these young sort of whippersnappers who are running around you. Tharaval, you sort of see one of the kids reaching into sort of Brother Gaddon's sort of one of the pockets. Lance, you see one sort of going for Barty's sort of little knapsack thing.
I'm going to step forward and grab the child.
Okay.
Tharaval grabs the boy's hand as well and says, "Nothing there but trouble, boy."
Yeah. Roll me. Both of me roll me dex saves to see if you.
And
So where has he gone?
Oof.
I'm not going to counter it. By how you go. Yeah. Okay.
God damn.
So you both manage to grab them before they get away with anything of note.
I lift the child up off the floor and turn it and say, "There are better ways to put food on the table."
Get off me, you big blat of wood! Get off me! And he's just sort of, starts kicking at you.
I just laugh and say, you're not old enough to have learnt survival tactics at this point in time. Look down. Do you really want me to let go of you right now? Bear in mind, I'm holding him up so he's at eye level with me.
Roll me intimidation.
Child wants to go skydiving.
Yeah. His very cocksure, boisterous attitude quickly dissolves as he sees the sort of height he's at. He says, "Let me go. I promise I'll be good."
I just look at it and say, don't make promises you have no intention of keeping. Just learn to make better choices first.
I will. I will. Just let me go. I will.
I look to the others and shrug, and I just turn him around and put him down and just give him a shove and say, learn to think about what is going on around you. Don't just focus on what you think is an easy win.
Yeah, so
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so Tharavel, you.
So Tharavel, as he's still holding the boy's hand, and he looks at the other boy that Lance is lifting, and then he turns back and looks at the other boy and says, "You don't want to end up like your friend over there, do you?" And then he starts talking to the boy in thieves' cant, basically asking him where his contact is to see if he sort of understands. So the boy, if he understands it, it'll make sense to him. Otherwise, I'll just be talking absolute gibberish to him.
Roll me intimidation for.
Oh god, I'm not very intimidating. Really
Charisma for the lose.
Yeah, he's suitably sort of scared, and he doesn't understand what you're saying.
Okay.
He says he's talking in tongues. He's talking in tongues. Please let me go. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Run off to your homeboy.
As you both sort of kind of let them go, they sort of kind of, they run off, and their sort of attitude instantly changes back to sort of like, little scroats who sort of kind of like, we'll get you next time. We'll look at you next time. As one of them sort of pulls down his pantaloons and sort of moons you and stuff.
How far away are they?
Tharavel draws his bow.
Actually, no, that's mean. That is mean. That is a very mean thing to do.
The boys sort of like get real, see the bow being drawn and quickly scarper off.
We're not being mean. We are simply encouraging them to make better choices.
No. I mean, yes, thank you, because I'm pretty sure you saw them do. Party, we would have been a little bit robbed of our paraphernalia. I'm thankful, guys. I really appreciate it. But at the same time, you do remind me of some of the more taskmaster clerics in the schools of Subern, because you could really do some damage being teachers at the Legion here. Just saying, boys.
I have other affiliations and promises to keep.
That's fine, don't worry, but if you ever decide that you want a path-changing career, I'm pretty sure that the Legion and Bahamut would be wink wink, even though you've already said that you've met him a number of times. So, just goes without saying. Join us as a cleric or a paladin.
Tharavel sort of looks at Gadon and just sort of shrugs and says, I thought you were hungry.
I am hungry. I just don't fancy child meat. That's not necessarily the direction I should be going to. I am I also don't fancy being thieved.
My bad. Apologies.
It just like, and I said, you did okay. You're just a little bit confused at first. It's like, okay.
I need to.
Um,
Can somebody, until I get my spreadsheet, can somebody remember tuna fasasi or tuna face so I can sort of.
Tuna Fassi, yeah.
Yeah, because I can
Tuna
make
Fassi.
sure.
Yeah,
I
that's
make,
right.
'cause I gotta. Just because I don't want. It's,
Return of Tuna Fassi is just gonna be something one of my like allies and organizations.
tuna fassi. Okay, so the kids roll off, and you got to sit, a city around. It's sort of, it'll have the same sort of places as most cities, but obviously not as much choice. Is there anywhere you want to sort of do you want to explore a bit more? Do you want to go straight to the Somnium the Somnium Inn, or Somnium Arms? Sorry, Somnium Arms.
I think I'd like to take a walk around town just to get an idea of whether the deterioration is widespread or just in one area.
Okay. Resty, is he following suit?
Yeah, Barty can accompany him. Just to sort of take in the town, see if it's as he remembered.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Let's do that as
Have you
well.
got Dunkin' Donuts? You got donuts there?
You are on mute. You need to.
Muted.
They're mince pies. No, they're not. They're a
Oh.
wicked donut. I just heard the crisps crunching. I was like, I'm so hungry.
And it looks like Nanook has followed suit.
Yeah. Hello.
Come for the mince pies.
Yeah. Okay. So you start wandering around the city, and it's all sort of common. There are some areas that look better than others. Generally, there is sort of on top of the hill. There is like a citadel, which looks a bit more looked after than the rest of the city. But in general, you've got sort of what probably was a market district, which is now sort of a shadow of its former self. And some of the other little sort of minor areas, trade hubs and things. You've got sort of empty warehouses and things like that. That sort of were probably teeming with business at one point, but now sort of seem to be just covered in dust and cobwebs and overgrown roots and things.
Does he notice like a lack of faith as well? Like people are just giving up on life, and you don't hear like your classic sort of like
you do notice sort of that there is no temple here. There you saw maybe a building that used to probably be some sort of religious house, but it's completely overgrown and not sort of and dilapidated. Apart from that, you just got people who just sort of they're going about their business. Oddly, they're not too sort of they don't seem to be too bothered by you walking around or seeing a Warforged or seeing a Leonin. They just seem to be sort of kind of heads down, scratching away a living.
It just feels to me that they've completely abandoned the chant of light, as if something has swallowed their sense of faith, and their lack of faith is disturbing.
Stop.
We wait to say that.
Okay. Yep. What are we doing next?
He just
I
looks
want to
about.
walk up- Sorry.
Go on. No, you go.
I turn to the others and say, I think I want to have a look up at the citadel and see what passes for leadership around here.
That sounds like a good shout.
Yep.
We don't want to make
Sorry,
too
Barty?
much of it. I was just going to say to Lance, we might not want to make too much of a scene before we do what needs to be done.
I am just a traveller looking to get to know the area.
Are you walking past the citadel? Are you going up to it and talking to people? How are you sort of going about it?
I'm going to walk up to the citadel and see if the gates are open.
Okay, so yeah, if you're doing that, anybody going with him? Are you doing it in stealth?
Ooh.
Are you doing it brazenly? How are you sort of going about it?
I'm really not stealthy. Let's be honest.
Just looks up.
Chum.
He looks at Barty and says, "I kind of agree with you, but at the same time, like, what if shit turns south at the port at the Enclave? Don't you think we might need to at least figure out who the honchos are here, or is that a little bit outside of our usual scope of remit?"
Well, I'm not 100% certain that we'll be on the same plane of existence, so by all means, see if we can curry favor. It can't harm us. I just don't
No.
know how well it may help.
Not all research comes from books, Barty.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I'm just gonna say that there's a way that influence carries beyond a plane of existence, and I will say nothing more than that. Just that it's always good to lay some foundations down.
Well, by all means. I'm not much of a diplomat, but
That's okay.
I'll happily see how it's done.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, neither are we. Just good. We just like to. I'm a bit of a talker, and I'm pretty sure that Lance here is probably the better of all of us, considering that he has the Empress of Taunt on what do they call it, on the Rolodex or something.
Whatever that is.
Whatever that is. Yeah. Okay. So you sort of gonna make your way to the gates of the sort of kind of I guess it's more not really citadel, it's more of a keep, I guess. But you have guards there who look like they're actually doing their job. Their armor and stuff's a lot better than maybe the guards sort of at the sort of the front. And you get a, all right, halt! Who goes there and what's your business?
I take a deep breath, step forward, and wave to the guy behind me and say, "Well met, sir. We are travellers from Taunt who would like to introduce ourselves and make introductions to whoever's in charge around here."
That'll be Portmaster Arthur. But he's not taking visitors. Bugger off.
Yeah.
I smile. I turn to the others and say, "Does anyone here feel like buggering off?"
I'm intrigued as to why he's not taking visitors. Normally, you would have a. This doesn't seem like an. What time is it in the day?
You're looking sort of it's late afternoon. I'd say late afternoon.
Don't tell me he's closed for business at this time of the day. I mean, sure, I know this place is a little bit sleepy and worn down. Sorry, no offense, but we're traveling dignitaries. Does he not want to, live up to the reputation that Garleyhold has?
Reputation, my friend. I don't think so. The Portmaster's business is his own. Now piss off.
Okay. I guess that's something for us to report back to with the Legion of Unyielding Light. And then just kind of walks away. He's like, "I'm not dealing with them."
Roll. Are you doing that as a threat, or are you sort of?
I don't know. He wants to leave it out there and see how the character takes it, but I don't know what the mechanism of action
Legion
is.
Isn't really well known for normal, and Kyrelia as well. Possibly, they're not that sort of. They don't really know it that well, I would say. So,
Okay.
They're not sort of. Legion of what? And it's like, get away with you, and he sort of goes back and starts talking to his fellow guardsman.
Okay. Go.
I roll my eyes. I look across at the others and say, "You're not going to hold this against me, are you?"
Depends on what this means.
Just let him keep his head this time.
Or, try not to decapitate them. I don't know. You guys, what is your MO here? Like, slaughter and maim in the name of...
So I have a feeling I know what he's going to do, so if anybody wants to sort of stop him, now's the time. or it's going to potentially escalate.
May we exhaust one more avenue before you, before you let old habits take over? And like Bile will just approach and just say, yes, we are an archaeological expedition sent with the full authority of the Empress of Taunt, and we've been told to report to the leader of this town just to let them know that we may require their assistance.
Smooth. He just says.
Okay, roll me persuasion with advantage.
Oh, I'll definitely need the advantage. Oh,
Nice.
maybe not.
Okay, yeah.
beautiful.
I'm listening, friend. Tell more.
Well, we have been given directions to seek out the portal regarding to the Somnian Enclave, just to make sure everything is above board and nothing is seeping out into the wide world. So we'll require some assistance from whoever is in charge here. The portmaster, apparently.
Okay, so he says, right then, wait here, and he sort of takes himself off. About sort of 20 minutes, 30 minutes later, he comes back and he says, all right, you can come in. No funny business, though. Be respectful to the portmaster, and he'll be respectful to you. Or else you'll get my Albert up your jacksie. On you go.
Oh, of
Oh,
course.
oh.
I smile, and as I walk past, I tap his halberd with my spear staff, and say, "That's nice. I wonder if did you get it in a pack of cereal?"
He sort of sniffs at you and sort of bristles slightly, but because you're a lot bigger than him, he sort of just mumbles and sort of turns around and sort of looks out and has a go with one of the little sort of street urchins who sort of are sort of peeking around and watching you.
But because Lance has gone first, and then Gathen's going to follow behind, and he's just going to show him the biggest, toothiest grin possible with all his fangs hanging out, just like.
Roll me intimidation.
Oh no, he's like, oh, okay, fine, fuck. You just be like.
Yeah,
He's gonna look goofy.
You go up and you live this like really sort of like it's sort of this really stupid, and he just sort of looks at you really oddly and just kind of goes, "You stink," and then he sort of
and he's just like, "There's a new aroma here. I'm collecting things."
Okay, so you sort of take yourself off. You're. The difference between the outside where the keep is and the keep are very what's the word? Stark. That's the word. Yeah, very stark. You have you clean walls, gardens. You can see what the city used to be like before whatever befell it came. And you sort of make your way by one of the sort of very sniveling servants, sort of bowing and sort of like hand moving forward, sort of directs you to one of the sort of kind of side portcullises, and you go through and up some stairs into a room. It's quite, it's not as lavish as maybe some of the places you've seen in Taunt, but it's quite sort of ornate compared to what the rest of you've seen. And at the end of the hall is a fat man eating food and sort of laughing very sort of kind of loudly to some other sort of corpulent looking nobles at a table. The servant sort of goes up and goes, "Master," and sort of whispers something in it, and he says, "Oh, bring them forth then. Come on, have a good old day."
Before they do that, they approach, as quietly as possible, he says to the rest of the folks, "I believe that we found out corruption, and it looked like it's avarice."
I just chuckle and say, I've often found that you can tell the character of a leader by how he treats himself and how he treats his people. I'm not very impressed with this man's character, and I've not even met him yet.
You can also weigh his level of corruption by the number of chins under his jowl.
I've got a sharp knife if you want to reduce that level.
No, I was thinking of more barbecue pork.
Rude.
Anyway, sorry. But I assume that you two think the same thing too. I don't want to necessarily jump to conclusions.
I looked at Tharavel and raised an eyebrow.
Tharavel sort of says, it appears that he lives lavishly while the rest of the city is poor. But let's see what he has to say.
In that case, Barty, I believe that you are a spokesperson, so unfortunately... And then he just kind of like gestures forward.
We all step backwards, leaving Barty out front.
We're just like, whoop!
Yes, how do you do? My name is Bartholomew Pringle, and these are my colleagues. We've been sent by Empress Tont as an archaeological expedition to survey the portal that resides to the south west of this area. One of the first deeds that the Empress has taken on is to survey the portals under her jurisdiction and to make sure that none are allowing dark forces to move around the lands unseen.
Just so you know, Balon has no jurisdiction over Kyrelia, but I'll play that into the thing. So he sort of snorts and he sort of spits out some. Reggie jurisdiction. He says. Empress Balon, is it Empress? So when did this happen, Reginald? Reginald, when did this happen? What? That little. Jeez, the Empress. Empress. Didn't they have some sort of trickery, triarchy? Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, Empress. Yes. Well, the enclave has been shut to us for many years. That the portal you talk of. And I've changed my accent completely for unknown reasons.
No, you changed your accent so much so.
My wife?
My wife? So my wife. Yeah. The portal is it's inactive, I would say. Nobody's been there for a long time. More's the shame. Damn do-gooders sticking their oar in wherever they are. We're better off without them.
I grab my, I brace my spear across me, and I step forward and say, I would ask that you speak with more respect about my Lady Empress. She has lost much and risked much for your land and for hers, to fight the corruption. Well, you apparently have taken a slightly more relaxed approach to our battle.
He sort of like nearly coughs on some of the sort of chicken he's eating, and it like, nearly falls off his chair, and he's like, "Gods! And they sort of kind of move themselves forward, and he says, obviously I meant no disrespect, but I would ask you to be careful with your arms. Did nobody take the bloody... What am I paying you for? Did nobody take the bloody weapons off them before they came in here? Bloody idiots. It's like, yes, Empress Bell, my deepest respects. Yes, Portal. I'm just interested in what you want to do there, and if there's anything in it for me.
He just looks at Barty, and hopefully he can just. Yeah, you can't make eye contact because Barty's in front, but he's twitching his ears, just thinking, and he leans forward and he says, I, of course, know that valor is discretion is the better part of valor. Just that steps away.
An inactive portal may indeed be a happy portal. We're just being sent to check on its status and if any corruption or forces of are moving in or out. A quick survey should be quite
what's corruption? What do you mean corruption? There's no corruption in this area. It's in the bloody miles away over there. Nothing. It's all good around here.
Yes.
I don't want any trouble. Okay. I was told that there might be I'm thinking there's potentially some artifacts in there, and if you want to go into that old place, then maybe I can help. But if you're just there to survey, then you have no interest.
In the event that we do find scary, naughty people, we trust you will raise some of your standing army, some of your men to assist in the scouring of the area.
He said, I bloody well not. No, it's not. This that area is not under my control. I'm in charge of Galio. That's about it. I was gonna say there's not much going on here, but I'm not gonna raise my men just to put you out of any issues you have. But you won't have any issues. There's nothing. There's nothing. I don't know why you even want to go there. There's tales, wives' tales about that place, but if there's nothing in it for me, then just be gone. Go.
I chuckle and I manifest an echo behind him, and I slap the platter out of his hands, and then whisper into his ear from the shadow, from my echo. What's in it for you potentially would be little details like
Hey, he's back.
carrying on eating.
I'm back. Where am I?
Oh,
breathing.
you're the shit's just about to hit the fan, unfortunately.
All right, see you later.
Oh yeah, as I said, for eating and breathing and all those lovely little things that the corruption likes to take away from people that don't cooperate with them, or that maybe make promises and bargains that they don't keep. But you wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
Okay, so to keep you filled in, because you are standing with them, Arno, you've portaled in. A few of them have fallen in the water because the portal wasn't exactly where it was meant to be. You've met a fisherman called Jonah Tunaface. Yeah. Faci. Tunafaci. Yeah, Tunafaci's better actually. We like Tunafaci, yeah. Instead of Tuna Face.
I've got to update my pronunciation now.
Yeah, Tunafaci. He's going to give you a boat to go down to where he thinks where the portal is. He's been promised riches, to do the thing. You've made your way into town. The town is pretty much, it's a shadow of its former self. You can see it looked good once, but doesn't look so good now. Bartholomew and Brother Gaddon were nearly pickpocketed, but they managed to see off the little scoundrels who mooned them and ran away. You've then gone to the keep and said, after a bit of being told to piss off, managed to worm their way in to see the Portmaster Arthur, who is sitting at a table, gorging himself at quite an ornate-looking sort of room, in an ornate-looking sort of place, feasting with some other fat nobles, and basically saying he just wants to know what you want and what's in for him. And at this point, Lance has sent his echo behind him and told him basically what he said, which was what again? Sorry, Lance. What did you say?
So, you want to know what's in it for you? Usually the little details, the boring things: eating, drinking, breathing. The things that the enemy tends to take away from you, especially if maybe you have made bargains with people you shouldn't have done, and they don't think that you're holding your end up. That would be very unfortunate, wouldn't it?
He he he's obviously suitably shocked and actually falls off his chair when you appear sort of behind him as a shock. The guards sort of surrounding him as he basically falls off his chair and sort of kind of crawls over sort of towards one of his guards. They sort of kind of move forward with their sort of halberd sort of kind of held out, and he says, guards, get them out of here.
Just looks at Lance and Barty and then says, I think that we just need to de-escalate the situation slightly. But I think we know your answer. Portly Master. Whatever your name is. So I guess, Barty, I hope you don't mind. I think we can dispense with the pleasantries here.
I try my best. Let's have
No,
it.
you did. You did your very best. And Lance, I'm glad that you did that. So, Fat Man, this is what you're not going to help your people, and that's fine. So if shit hits the fan, we'll save the people first. You can die with the rest of your portly fat retinue. The unyielding light does not care for such shitty personalities like you.
Okay, so he sort of kind of blusters at all this, especially being called fat. And he by the way, Arno, do you want to say anything, do anything before I sort of carry on with this?
I don't really know what's going on, so just
So
We're speaking truth to power.
basically fat man, fat noble, looking after himself and not his people, and they're poking the bear basically, or poking the pig as it would probably be. So
if this was obvious to him, then he would absolutely get involved. This is one of his character. This is one of Arno's character traits, that he cannot stand people of power abusing people of lesser power. So he would absolutely aggravate this.
We'd basically made
perfect.
the conclusion before we'd even actually spoken to him. It was just by the sheer look of him and his surroundings compared to outside. So
yeah.
Okay, so it's conjecture.
Well, he opened his mouth and proved it.
Okay, if Arno would have heard him demonstrate and flaunt this, then he would have added along to these insults.
Oh, I feel like you want to say something, Arno. Please go ahead, rip into him. I hear that the pig needs roasting.
I don't have any context.
So he's literally they've gone in to basically see who's in charge and see if they can get some help going down towards the portal. He's asked. He's basically they've seen this very opulent sort of kind of feast going on. Fat nobles sort of stuffing their face, very sort of rich area, bearing in mind where they were is poor and sort of down, there doesn't seem to be a lot of care in the sort of main city itself, and he's just being a horrible, he's not being really, he's all he's been interested in is what's in it for him.
Yeah.
Okay. Arno would say something like, it saddens me to see a so-called leader cared more about what he's having for dinner than the people on the streets who suffer under his rule. We are trying to save these lands, and yet you stand there scoffing your face, thinking about the next meal when these people around you don't have one.
He's like, I won't have this. I won't. And he says, God, Seize them! Stick them in the jail! If you want to roll me intimidation, because I don't think these guards are going to be super sort of like well trained and stuff like that. So roll me some intimidation.
I'll do one better. I'm gonna do daunting roar.
Ooh. Sounds great.
I roar with a vengeance, and I shout everyone down. My DC for this one is 16.
Okay, I'm just going to roll a. Okay, so
Oh yeah, go on, intimidate them while you're at it. Just stand there while something. Fuck you all.
so I'm just
I
going
don't want to do my intimidation roll because it's going to be shit.
roll me an intimidation anyway. Just sort of.
I'm going to be about as intimidating as a Care Bear.
Hey, they're just scary fuckers.
Let's try Cerebel.
You just stand back, Thurble.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Cerebel.
Eldritch did okay.
Oh,
no.
Ooh.
Care Bears are more intimidating than me.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you decide how badly intimidating you are. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it you first. So basically, obviously they are going to be intimidated, but we're going to start off with Tharvel failing miserably. So I'll let you choose how badly you make this intimidation.
So Tharival goes to draw his bow, and then he drops it, and then in the process of trying to pick it up again, he falls over on his face.
Oh no!
As this happens, the portmaster is sort of pointing and laughing, and then at that point, that's when you sort of kind of the rage sort of comes up, and you let out this mighty roar. And beside you, sort of Arno comes out with this sort of kind of his hand sort of first with this sort of arcane sort of blast readying, and
start hovering as well.
And Lance sort of kind of
I draw Daybreaker.
Gets his massive axe. Artie, are you getting in on the intimidation act, or are you just sort of kind of staying put and letting them do their thing?
But I know where his skills lie, and he's happy to just let everyone. He'll
sort of kind of just
blend into the background.
Artie just sort of kind of shrugs his shoulders, stands back as sort of like you advance forward. The guards, they don't advance. They just sort of kind of stand there and look at each other. It's like, guards! I said, move now, or I'll dock your pay. One of them just sort of turns around and goes, fuck this, and sort of kind of drops it, and he sort of puts his hands up and sort of backs off, and says, they don't pay as well anyway, and he sort of he buggers off, and the other ones sort of kind of put their weapons down and make their way out of the hall.
Well, it seems like the portly master here does not have the clout that perhaps his quadruple chin seem to have somehow projected. So we're gonna leave. We don't expect any help, but when shit does hit the fan, don't expect to come and save your sorry excuse of a body and your corpulent friends. We'll save the people here, but Garleyhold looks like it's a dismal failure in comparison to the former glory that it used to be. I don't know if anybody else has anything else to say to him, but I think I'm done.
You're gonna pay for
I
this.
need to...
You're gonna pay for this.
I'm sure. I'll pay. I'll pay with your sorry excuse of a body somehow accidentally tripping and cracking an ankle before you then slap your face against the tiles and bleed out. Something along the lines of that. And then hopefully Bahamut will then not punish you by sending you down to the 7th layer of hell for your avarice.
I just sneer at him and say, the funny thing about respect is it seems to be earned. It needs to be earned, and I'm not entirely sure you've ever earned an honest anything in your life. And I turn and walk away.
He joins.
Arno will cast Prestidigitation a couple of times and soil this guy's pants, and then he will emanate an odd odor from around him so that he smells funky, and then turn and leave.
So he shits himself and quite vigorously. The having sort of you know, I'm bleeding sort of as he sort of he evacuates his bowels across the other nobles here sort of look disgusted at him. One of them sort of kind of comes up and he says, excuse me, I have to apologize for Port Master Arthur. We can maybe help you if you need any assistance. Just let us know what you need.
He looks at Barty and he says, I believe this is more your forte than ours.
I just sneer at the guy and walk away.
I do believe our business is concluded, unfortunately.
Okay. We're not taking help.
Okay.
Nothing to offer.
All right. Just be safe. Where is it you're staying?
And then just looks at Barty. He's like,
We'll be straight on our way. Don't worry.
So it's okay. Toodaloo. He says, Reginald, let's leave the master to his filth. We'll see you later, Arthur. And he sort of kind of
Arthur.
sort of,
I'm hearing Hyacinth in the background going, Arthur.
As they sort of take themselves off, and he's sort of just crying in his own filth.
Oh, beautiful. That's wonderful.
Nice.
Okay.
That was fun.
Right, cool. Right, so we'll leave it there then. I think that's probably a good sort of tail off point. So things to do for our final week, which is next week before Christmas. Are any shopping that you wanted to do in Taunt, so let me know what you brought with you, what you were getting. Your conversation with Gregor to see if he's with you or not. And then
I thought you told us the other week that he would have stayed with the Empress.
He would have, but he sort of because he sort of had a conversation with Gadden about it. He may be feeling a bit more like he needs to prove himself and stuff. So the idea is basically whatever the conversation with Lance, did he get permission from Lady Taunt or not?
Okay.
That's
Whoops. Sorry, inciting. I'm doing something that Valashul is very much good at doing.
So yeah, so that's going to be it. And then next week I'm going to maybe have you go back to the inn. Might do inn stuff in RP, and then we can start next week with your trip to the portal itself. Yeah, we'll do that. So we'll do RP stuff in the chat. And then we'll start off moving along. Well, hopefully moving along, so we don't get bogged down in inner city sort of kind of turmoil and overthrowing of the local government in
No, just a little bit of rebellion. That's all. We just go. We incite a bit of rebellion, leave, come back. Hopefully, Garly becomes better. Just by
Just out of
24
interest,
hours.
are you sure you're a lion, not a panda?
No, maybe a bit of both. Column A, column B, a plion.
lion. Right. So I think we'll leave it there. Apologies if there were some disconnections earlier and stuff. I'm stupidly disconnected some things. My internet thing must have come, so it made it slightly. Anyway, it's been working so far, so it's all good. Okay, for tonight, being Matt Geary, with me has been Conrad as Arnold Jekyll.
Good night, everyone.
Michael as Tharval Eldon.
Night, everyone.
Jace as Brother Gaddon.
Good evening, folks.
Lecky as Bartholomew Pringle.
Good night.
And Mark as Lance.
Be seeing you.
Bye!
Bye bye.